The feminine approach is not to make you do something you don't want to do, is to make you want to do it. To really make you want to do it. Not like blackmailing somebody or threatening them, because that doesn't make them want to do it. They don't really want to do it. They just don't want whatever disincentive you're threatening them with. But to make them actually want to do it to the extent where they don't even know that you put the idea in their head. Who's our next
hi,
one?
Rabbi.
Hey
Hi.
there.
Thank you so much for doing this. It's an amazing, amazing inspiration. I love every single one of them. I really do.
Yeah, aren't these callers great?
They're amazing. You
They're
can literally
amazing.
take your lesson and like just apply it to different, parts of our lives. It's really amazing.
It is amazing. Yeah. Okay.
So thank you for that. So I'm going to jump straight into my question. I'm a young mother of 3 adorable little kids. I have a great relationship with my husband. Baruch Hashem, I'm extremely, extremely lucky. I thank Hashem every day for him. I really, really do. He's really amazing. There's just one little thing that, we disagree on that bothers me. Obviously, when there's two people, there's always disagreements, but Baruch Hashem, he's a great husband, and we get along really well. And I don't take that for granted, because I know, it's not something that everybody has. So I just want to put that, down before going to my actual question. So with that being said, we have this, different
difference of opinion?
Different views, exactly. Different opinion of listening or watching.
And we just want to
non-Jewish
preface,
podcasts.
you have a good relationship, you respect each other, you get along, but there's one
That's right.
issue. One issue.
But this is one thing that, the one issue that, that bothers me. You know what I mean? That bothers me constantly.
Yes.
And we spoke about it.
Constantly.
I personally think that it's, So I personally think that listening to non-Jewish podcasts is not the right thing.
Well,
I mean,
of course,
given
you
that
should only
we're part
listen
of
to
a Hasidic
SoulWords.
community.
You should listen to Shais
for
Taub,
sure,
Shara
for
B'Tochen,
sure.
Shais Taub, Tanya, Shais Taub, Parsha. Yes, of course.
I actually listen to those. I do.
Where do you listen to? On Spotify?
I do.
What do you use to listen to my
on
podcast?
on YouTube usually.
On
I go
YouTube.
into either SoulWords. I go into your
the
website,
website,
and I usually click
soulwords.org.
whatever I'm in the mood of.
Yeah. What do you listen to?
Fantastic.
What are you into lately? What do you listen to from me?
I actually enjoy your Tanya sharing.
Very good. Which Tanya?
I
The
really-
ones
I
with
really
the
enjoyed
text-based one where we're reading the words, or the summaries where we're explaining each chapter?
No, the summaries. The words are a little too after a whole day of kids and work.
Mm-hmm.
The summaries are amazing.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. What chapter are you on?
So I would have to check. I didn't listen to this past Hanukkah, so before Hanukkah I would need to click in.
Yeah.
But I could definitely shoot you an email.
Okay. Well, what was the last interesting thing you heard in Tanya?
I actually also listened to one of your marriage, classes that you have.
Yeah.
Which is also super duper amazing.
Amazing. So you are a real super fan. You're consuming all of our SoulWords content. That's amazing.
I try.
That's
I definitely
amazing.
try.
No, you're succeeding. You're not just trying. You're succeeding. Okay. So your husband wants to listen to
So this is my question.
non-Jewish podcasts.
Yeah, so he...
like
exactly.
what?
And he doesn't
Sports?
do anything wrong. He's a very...
Sports?
Hmm?
Sports?
No, not
Politics?
sports. Not even sports.
Ben
a lot
Shapiro?
of news, a lot of politics. Exactly. No, not Ben Shapiro. Others, I prefer not to give names because,
Candace?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe one of them. But, some things that I personally think that, I don't know, you hear certain things, the way they speak, certain topics, even though it's not maybe the entire, 40 minutes of the podcast or whatever, it's 10 minutes or whatever, but, I feel why is that necessary? It almost makes me respect him a little less, which I don't, which might be my problem.
Yeah.
Because I might be a little, narrow-minded. But to me, it's, something so important. And he's there's nothing wrong. And he is, Baruch Hashem.
Yeah.
So,
he's a good guy.
that's really, a little bit.
He's a good guy.
Yes, he is. And
He's
I'm
a
very
good
lucky.
guy. You're very lucky. Yeah.
And I know it.
Okay. So
It's just one thing that, really, it bothers me.
yeah, I hear you. Okay. So I'm going to tell you something, and this is a nuanced answer. But you you listen to my classes, you know how I am. I'm always into nuance. I'm always into, but two things can be true at the same time. So you are right. You are totally right. And you're not narrow-minded. You are making sure to take care of the precious brain that God gave you and to only put in it wholesome things that are going to nourish you in a spiritual way. You're 100% right. So I don't want to tell you, it's no big deal. No big deal. So he listened to a little Tucker Carlson. It's okay. Is that one of the ones? No, you don't have to tell. Alex Jones? No. Okay. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what he's listening to. Okay. All right. Maybe it's NPR. From guy listening to NPR. That I want to meet that guy. Okay. It doesn't matter. It's okay. It's just fun. It's just relaxation. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you're right. And your standard is the ideal. And your standard is the goal that we should all aspire to. So I don't want to tell you that you're being a fanatic or going overboard. No. Like, you're really doing the right thing. At the same time, I'm going to tell you that, so apparently he doesn't have that sensitivity, that level of sensitivity. Obviously, he has a sensitivity. He has standards. I mean, there's certain things he's not going to listen to. He's not going to listen to things that are beneath his standards, whatever that is, wherever he draws that line.
Right.
But he doesn't have as high of standards as you. Okay. So here's what I want to tell you something. Okay. Here's what I want to tell you. Ezu isha kshera ha'oiser tzayin baila. This is what Chazal tell us. Who is an isha kshera? Who is a proper wife? Ha'oiser tzayin baila. Now you could translate that. Normally the translation is the one who does her husband's will. Oisa, she does her husband's will. However, there's a deeper way of translating it. Ha'oisa, the verb la'asais, that's the infinitive, can mean to do, but it can also mean to make. Like we say, Oisa shalom b'mreimav, Hashem makes peace in his heights. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu, he should make peace among us. So Oisa can also mean she makes. So Ezu isha kshedo, who is a proper woman, Ha'oiser tzein baila, the one who makes her husband's will. What does it mean she makes her husband's will? It means, you listen to my marriage thing?
So a couple of them, yeah.
Couple of them. So did you hear me talking about the provider and the recipient?
Yeah.
Mashpia Makabel stuff, provider and recipient, and the relationship of like the 6 work days and Shabbos. Shabbos is the feminine, the queen. She receives the work that was done from the 6 days. She becomes pregnant with it and gives birth to something on an even higher level.
Yes, right. I listened to that one, yeah.
Great. So I want to tell you something that I didn't talk about over there, but you know how the spheroids work. You have Chochma Bina Das, the intellectual spheres, and you have Chagas, the Chesed Gvurei Tiferes, Netzach Chayt Yesod, and then at the bottom you have Malchus. So there's a concept of Notz Tchilosen B'Seifen V'Seifen B'Tchilosen, that these layers or levels are cyclical, so that the exact term Notz Tchilosen B'Seifen V'Seifen B'Tchilosen means that the ends are wedged in the beginnings and the beginnings are wedged in the ends. It's a cyclical, comes full circle. So Malchus, which is the feminine aspect, actually comes back and is the highest of the spheroids, higher than Chochmah. And what's higher than Chochmah is called Keser. Keser literally means the crown. And it's called the crown because it goes on top of the intellectual faculties. Chochmah Bina Das are the intellectual faculties, those are in the head. Keser is the crown that goes on the head. And what is Keser? Keser is Ratzain, is will. So Malchus, the lowest level, is connected back to Ratzain or Keser, the highest level. And what that means is that the feminine attribute has a special power to create will, to create a will. What that means is you can elicit a will in your husband. You can get him to want something. Now, focus on what I'm saying here. I didn't say you can get him to do something. I said you can get him to want something. See, the masculine approach is to get someone to do something that they don't want. You don't want? Tough luck. I'm bigger. I'm tougher. I'll make you do it. That's the masculine approach, which is to be koivish, to conquer. The way of the derech ha'ish, the way of a man, is to be koivish, to conquer. And that means to make someone do something that they don't want to do. The feminine approach is not to make you do something you don't want to do, is to make you want to do it. But to really make you want to do it, not like blackmailing somebody or threatening them, because that doesn't make them want to do it. They don't really want to do it. They just don't want whatever disincentive you're threatening them with. But to make them actually want to do it to the extent where they don't even know that you put the idea in their head. And the hardest thing is going to be when he says it was his idea, and you're going to have to smile and say, you have the best ideas, even though you were the one.
I'm willing to do that, but how do we do that?
Well,
how does that get done?
The key is to continue to respect him. That's why it's so tricky, because you're saying, and I heard how emotional you were when you said that. Like, when you think about the fact that he's listening to these other things, it makes you lose respect or almost lose respect. You gotta avoid that. That's what's going to bring you down. God forbid. Don't lose respect, because when you lose respect for him, that creates distance between you and him. And when he's distant from you, see, you are his anchor. And when he's distant from you, he flies away. So you have to do the exact opposite. You have to focus on the things that you admire about him and get closer to him. Get closer. You're close now. Get closer. Get closer. And when you get closer to him and he feels that he is satisfying you, that he is pleasing you, that you like him and you respect him and that you enjoy him and that you want to be around him, this will have an automatic influence on his desires. His desires will start to align themselves more and more, gradually, more and more with your desires. There's a medrash that talks about an interesting story. It said that there was a Rasha and a Marshas and a Kosher and a Kshera. That means a wicked man and a wicked woman, and they were married. And there was a proper man and a proper woman, and they were married. And for whatever reason, both couples ended up getting divorced, and they ended up marrying each other. So the Rasha married the Keshera, and the Kosher married. And what happened? I don't know how long it took, but by the end of the whole story, the proper man became wicked, and the wicked man became proper, because, says the Medrash, Hakoil hoilech achar ha'isha. Everything goes according to the woman. Now you're going to say, but I know so many good women whose husbands are bums. Okay, that's because they're not deeply connected to them. So the trick is to continue being the righteous woman that you are and only listening to Shais Taub podcasts. And at the same time, thank you for laughing at that. I'm glad that you knew that was a joke, but it was only half a joke. The other half was dead serious. To continue with your lofty spiritual... I know you do. I know you do. Okay. The trick is, listen to me, to continue with your lofty principles, and at the same time, not only continue, but double down and triple down in your closeness with him. He's going to end up being more and more like you. That's just how it works. That's just how it works. You're the woman. He's going to end up gravitating more and more toward your values. Not because you preach to him. No, you're not going to preach to him. Counterproductive.
No, I'm not preaching.
Yeah, you're not. No, you're not his mother. You're not going to do it. You're just going to continue having your awesomely high, impeccable standards and being super, super bonded with him. And that means show him that you enjoy your relationship with him. When a man sees that his wife appreciates him and enjoys him, this opens up everything in him and just makes everything flow. And that's where your power is.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Wow. Okay. Not an answer I was expecting, but I really appreciate it.
I thought it was pretty predictable. See, it's so funny. I always think nobody needs to hear this from me. It's so like when I used to write the Ami column, I was like, why am I even writing this? Like, everybody knows this is what I'm going to say. And then people would come up to me. I never thought anyone would say. So, okay. I'm glad it was surprising to you. All right. Now you got to go do it.
Yeah, we do miss the Ami column, but you brought it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I brought it up the other. Yeah, it's so hard for me. It's so hard.
The other class, I know, but we understand. I definitely.
But once a week, I get on the phone and I talk with people. This I could handle. This and also you see, it's different here because I get to crack jokes. Like the Ami column is so serious. I have to there's a certain tone. You know, I'm like in my rabbinic tone. I'm being so serious. Over here, I get to make my jokes and I got my Gatorade and I'm like much more relaxed.
Shahakal mug. Yeah,
my Shahakal mug. We don't know who won. By the way, we just want to repeat that whoever gives the biggest donation to SoulWords, the comment is pinned in the chat, soulwords.org/donate. Whoever gives the biggest donation tonight, who lives in the United States, is going to win the Shahakal mug. Okay. All right. Awesome call. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
Enjoy your marriage. Enjoy your husband. Okay.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Okay. Awesome. All right. Hey, this is Shais Taub. You were just watching a clip from this class. If you want to get the full context, the full class that this clip that you just watched was from, you watch right here. Click right